Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on. Came on so long ago, and it didn't want me to start. So here we are today. Finally, Paraglamet Gimel 33, and we'll start and chat afterwards. So this capital of Tehillim, officially composed by Moshe Rabbeinu. It's one that you might recognize from Shabbos davening, Yontif davening, Tashlech, and also very often it is customary that people say this chapter of Tehillim at the grave of a tzaddik. So we want to understand just a little bit before we even go into it what this chapter of Tehillim is about, and the main point of it is to tell us that Hashem controls the world. Full stop. Hashem controls the world. And it discusses two different kinds of control that Hashem has over the world. The one is the control of nature. Hashem is totally, absolutely in control of nature. He put various things into place, and that's how it goes. So when the clouds gather and the rain falls and whatever it is, this is Hashem in control of nature. And then there's a second kind of control, which we like to call Hashgacha Pratis, that is specific control where Hashem can take the laws of nature and change them. So the best example that we know of that is Hashem taking the law of nature that water flows and splitting the sea, right? So that's the law of nature is that water flows. But if Hashem wants, He can split the sea. So this is the main point of this chapter of Tehillim and how it affects us. Also, one of the things that you'll see a lot in this, and especially in the first three psukim of this chapter, are all the happy words. It's a happy capital. So the last chapter that we did was more serious, and this one is serious but happy. And if you take notice, all the different song words and musical instrument words. So we have the chapter opens with the word rananu, tzaddikim, okay, rananu being sing, okay, generally a happy song. Then we have in the same first pasuk we have the word Tehilah, which is a song of praise. In the next pasuk we have Haidu la Hashem. Again, give thanks to Hashem, generally in some kind of song form. We have the musical instrument, the kinnor, the nevel ashar, and then we have another song word, zamrulai. Zamru is a zemer, a song. And then we have shirulai, another word for song. And we have nagain. Nagain is a song without words. And then we have the word trua, which depending on which translation you're going with, trua is a emotional song, a song that comes short outbursts from the heart. So it's the first three lines of this capital of Tehillim, which are all talking about song, musical instruments, and such. And the Talmud says to us that the world that we live in, the way that Hashem created the world, we could liken it to a symphony orchestra. A symphony orchestra, every music, every instrument, every person there is doing their own thing. Each person has their music, and they all told where they have to press their music note, what they have to do, if they have to harmonize, if they have to be playing the same thing as the person next to them, if they have to go louder or softer, or whatever it is that they have to do. This is how Hashem's world works, that each of us is an instrument in the symphony orchestra, and we need to be playing the same tune as the person next to us, and we need to know when we have to bang the drum or when we have to press the note. We have to know that in order to keep the world running smoothly, we are pressing, we are playing, we are singing, we're doing whatever we're supposed to be doing. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Perek Shira or Shira Tabore Habriya, the Song of Creation. I was introduced to it some years ago. It was written officially, lots of different opinions, but officially it seems it was written by Shlomo HaMelech. Some opinions say it was also written by David HaMelech when he finished writing the book of Tehilim. And what is this whole concept of Perek Shira? Perek Shira is the teaching that every single thing in the world, whether it's the thunder or the lightning, or a mouse or a cockroach, or a dog or a wind, whatever it is, has a purpose in this world and has something that it needs to be doing and how it needs to be doing. And so it's fascinating because as you read through Perek Shira, it's very, very powerful because you realize the strength of creation and the purpose of creation and why everything is saying and doing what it's doing. But then you're left with a question at the end: is where's the human? Why is the human being not mentioned in Perek Shira at all, at all? And the Chazal explained to us that the human being has a Yetzer Tov and a Yetzer Hara. The human being has free choice, and the human being decides if it wants to be part of the song of creation, if it wants to be part of the song of nature, if it wants to be part of Hashem's orchestra. And David HaMelech over here gives us no choice. He says, sometimes in your life you have a choice if you want to be part of Hashem's symphony. But you know what? We are, whether we like it or not. We're part of Hashem's symphony. And we have to know that we have to play the right music at the right time. Because otherwise, if we don't, we spoil the symphony. And so David HaMelech begins this kapitel with the instruction: Ranenu tzadikim, sing. Okay, you have to sing. You have to be part of this orchestra. It's not your choice. It's part of your obligation as a human being in this world. Before we go even further into the psukim themselves, we need to look at the concept of a tzaddik or a yashar. In this kapitel, we are not going to describe a tzaddik as it does in the Tanya, but rather we're going to describe a tzaddik as the Rambam does, which is somebody who does more mitzvahs than averas, and somebody who has worked very hard on their Yetzer Hara, and is defeating the Yetzer Hara, who's doing good. Okay, it's a much simpler level than the way the Tanya describes a tzaddik. So let's look inside. Begins Rananu tzaddikim b'Hashem. Sing joyously, tzaddikim, with Hashem. La yesharim na'ava tehillah, and let the upright praise Hashem. And immediately the Chazal asks us, Medrash Tehilim says, why is the instruction to tzaddikim? Why isn't the instruction just human beings sing? Okay, why like that? That's what David HaMelech should have said. Why is he specifying tzaddikim? He says there's no greater joy for a human being than when we know we're doing something right, when we reach the level of tzaddik. So I think, okay, this is my own opinion, so you can debate it with me if you want. But I think we all move through those spaces different times in our lives, where and go so far as to say different days and even in different hours, where 1 minute we're doing great, we really part of the symphony. Another minute we were tempted by something and we didn't do so great. Another minute when we okay and we move the whole time. When you do something that was hard for you, but you manage and you do it, you feel good. It's a sweet song. And says David HaMelech over here, Rananu tzaddikim, rejoice in it every single time you managed to do something that was hard for you, and you overcame your temptation or you overcame your challenge and you managed to do something good. Rananu, sing, because it's sweet, and enjoy the accomplishment, which should hopefully motivate you to accomplish even more. So remember, the tzaddik in this case over here is someone who still has conflict, but he or she is fighting it, working on it, and trying to accomplish and to be able to sing of our accomplishments. The second line, which is La Yesharim Na'ava Tehillah, but the upright praise Hashem. So upright, a yashar, in this case, is even greater than a tzaddik. Because what is the yashar in this case? Someone who is completely straight. He doesn't deviate. He knows what's right and he does it. And when it's wrong, he doesn't do it. And that's the yashar. And those people, Nava Tehillah, they praise Hashem because they realize that this ability that they've, like this accomplishment of theirs, Hashem's really helped them to reach this. In Torah works, both David HaMelech and Moshe Rabbeinu were called Yesharim. They were called upright. Why? Why do we need to know this? What is important for us to know about Yesharim? Because Chazal tell us that when a person is upright, when a person is Yashar, then whatever they do lasts forever. It's eternal. And they give us the examples of David and Moshe. David HaMelech and Moshe, whatever they created in this world remains. It's there as strong and powerful forever and ever onwards. So we have with David HaMelech that the gates of the Beis HaMikdash, which he organized before he died, those gates did not open for anybody else, only by instruction of David. And we also told that when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the gates of the Beis Hamikdash were not destroyed. They sunk into the ground, and there they wait to stand up again for David HaMelech. The same thing with Moshe Rabbeinu. Certain parts of the Mishkan, which Moshe Rabbeinu put together, were buried. They were buried under Har HaBayis, and they're waiting again, please God, soon to get up and to be part of the third Beis Hamikdash. This is a motivation for us that when we do something in a way of Yesharim, when we do something because we are straight and we don't deviate and we are conducting ourselves exactly as we are supposed to, that which we achieve will be eternal, it will last forever. He continues the Ramelech Pasuk Beis, and he says, Haidu Hashem b'chinor, give thanks to Hashem with the kinor, with the harp, b'nevel asar zamrulai, and play music to Hashem or sing to Hashem on the nevel asher. So firstly, we have the kinor, which we traditionally translate as the harp, and makes beautiful music. And this, we know that David HaMelech is very famous, that he had a harp, that he hung his harp by his bed at a particular angle, and at midnight, the north wind would go through his harp and play music by itself. So we know very famously about David HaMelech's harp. We then see what the Nevel Asher is. Most translations put it as bagpipes, but whatever it is, it's a 10-stringed musical instrument, and which got the name Nevel Asher. Zamrullah should play on it. And so the Talmud starts speaking about these instruments. So the Talmud says at the time of the Beis Hamikdash until now, we have harps that are 7 strings. At the time of Mashiach, the harp will have 8 strings. And at the time of Olam Haba, the harp will have 10 strings. Strange Gemara. Like, what's this got to do with anything? Why is this a comment on this pasuk? And I found a nice explanation which says to us that already now in the world, we can play different kinds of music. And music doesn't just mean music, but means the happy or the sad or the emotion or whatever it is that we are, so to speak, playing in the world. We can play on a regular kino. We can play on an 8-string kino, and we can play on a 10-stringed kino. In other words, we can determine already in this world, we can make our lives better and better, or we can see the good in our lives even when there are challenges. And says Chazal that what is this pasuk telling us? It's saying to us, if you're already playing with the 7-string kino, if you already are able to connect to Hashem at that level, don't stop. Your next job is to play on the 8-string kino. And if you're playing on the 8-string kino, then don't stop. Play on the 10-string kino. Our job, says Chazal, is to be singing, to be praising Hashem over and over and over, and not the same praise, but looking for more praise, and higher praise again and again and again. Um, just a side note, interesting, just of interest, how the kino got its name. Harp, if you have a look at it, in the word kino is the word kain, which means yes or so or straight. In order for a kino to play good music, it has to be just so. So anyone who has played on any kind of string instruments knows that if the strings are not just so, the music doesn't work. So if the strings are too loose or too tight, or there's an extra one, or one too little, um, it's not. It doesn't play beautiful music. The kino has to be kain. It has to be just so. Slightly deeper than that, Kabbalah tells us that the kino doesn't actually mean a musical instrument. That's pshat, that's a simple understanding. But that kino, harp, alludes to the soul. And how does the Kabbalah get this? So if you have a look at the word kino, it's got two words in it. It has a kaf and a vav, and then the other alternate letters are nun and a resh. So the chaf and the vav if you add up the numerical value, it is 26. Whenever we see 26, we know that is hinting to Hashem's name. Hashem's one the name of Hashem that we don't actually say, the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey name. That's 26, and often when we see it in Torah, it's alluding to that level of Hashem, of godliness. And then the other word that we're seeing there, the nun and the resh, you know that the word ner means candle. And then you skip or Google or however you do it, and you get to Mishlei, where Shlomo HaMelech says, Ner Hashem, the candle of Hashem, that's Kinor, Nishmat Adam, is the soul of a human being. And so clearly over here, David HaMelech is hinting to us, Haidul Hashem, praise Hashem, Bechinor, with your soul, from your soul, right? This is the way that we are supposed to turn and praise Hashem. Pasuk Vav continues and says, Shiri lo shir chadash, sing to Hashem a new song. Heitivu nagen bitrua, play beautifully with the trua. So this idea of Shiri lo shir chadash, sing to Hashem a new song, continues with the theme from the pasuk before, that we are supposed to be singing to Hashem new songs every day. How you praised Hashem yesterday, how you served Hashem yesterday, how you worked on doing nice things, on being a mensch yesterday. Today, you need a new song. You need to do better than yesterday today. And more, says the Radak, keep on composing those songs of praise and happiness to Hashem. The Medrash says, very famously, there's two different ways in Hebrew that you could say song. Well, lots of different ways, but the word shir, you can say shir in the male form, like it's over here, but more common is saying shira in the female, the feminine form. So generally, the way of saying song, new song, would be shira chadasha, as a new song. And here it's saying Shir Chadash, a new song, but it's saying it in the male form. And the Medrash explains to us that while we are in exile, for every joy that we have, it comes with some pain, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it comes together with pain. The most obvious one is childbirth, right? In order to have the joy of childbirth, first comes labor, right? There comes the pain of labor, and then comes the joy of childbirth. And so sometimes a person might say, I don't want to ask for any more beautiful, joyous things, because I don't want the pain that possibly is going to come with it, or for sure is going to come with it. We also know about the feminine a woman, a quality of woman, is that we can do things over and over and over again. We can have a baby and then we can have another baby. We can go through labor, we can forget about the pain, and then come and have another baby. We have one of the things that most common, like that you could point out for a woman, is that she has a cycle that goes month after month after month, that repetitive. Okay, women are women, the meter of a woman, the one of the things that make us into women is the fact that we have repetition. We go through the cycle of things over and over again. Says that when Mashiach comes, there won't be misfortune anymore. There won't be sadness anymore. There won't be pain anymore. Then when we sing, it won't be a song with a tinge of, ooh, what, like, there's still pain. I remember the pain, whatever it is. When Mashiach comes, it's going to be full and complete joy without any repetition of sadness involved in it at all. And therefore, when we speak about the Mashiach, and the time of Mashiach, we say Shir Chadash in the masculine form. This song that we're going to sing is going to be the ultimate song. It's not going to be one that we're going to have to sing again after pain. We have a similar thing in the Haggadah, where at the end of Magid we make the bracha and we say whatever, Baruch Atah Hashem, we say, and V'sham Nashir, there we will sing Shir Chadash, a new song, right? When we'll be taken out of exile, the song we sing will be one that's not a temporary song and that they'll be singing again, but it's this song that will herald only goodness, only happiness in the world. Let's try and understand. Huh? Asking me something. Amen. Amen. And the second line of this pasuk of pasuk Gimel, it says, "Heitivu nogain bitrua," which is practice, sing better, okay, do better. This song, this nagain, be truer with the truer. So simply pshat what we are saying. The English translation that I have near me says, "Play splendidly on the trumpet." Okay, so like, what is that actually? If we go looking back at this pasuk, and we said before that a truer, if you think about Rosh Hashanah and the blowing of the shofar, the trua is a sound of that reminds us of someone crying, right? It's like the right of sadness, and it seems over here that it's talking about happiness. So just trying to understand what is actually being said over here. Get good at, become an expert at singing bitrua with the trua. So Chazal explained to us that in this world, in this exile that we're in, unfortunately, we have lots of challenges. We have lots of trua. We have lots of times where life is really difficult, and we could just put our heads in the ground. We could hide ourselves under our duvets. We could just be miserable for always, right? That would be trua, okay? That we get overrun by trua. And David HaMelech is giving us advice over here. He says, "Hey, Tivu Nagain, make your songs even better, okay, despite the trua, despite the challenges that you are facing. Hey, Tivu Nagain be trua, sing joyfully in this world, find things to be happy about, find things to be joyful about, even though there is so much trua." Faggy, I don't know how to mute you, but if you don't mind, let me. Um, so 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 find things that despite the difficulties that everybody has at some level, at some difficulty or whatever, hey, tivu nogain, make yourself good at singing as well. And says Chazal that this is David HaMelech giving us advice of how to survive Galus, to be able to sing even when things are difficult. That's what's going to help us to connect with Hashem. Going even a little bit further than that, Chazal tell us that in this world, it's almost in the goddess world that we live in, it's almost impossible to be totally happy. In fact, some commentaries say it's not possible to be totally happy in this world, because every time that we feel really happy, we also remember something that's really sad. Okay, and we always, even at the biggest joy that we have, we're reminded of like something that's not so happy, or some pain that comes together with the simcha that we're having. And we as Yidden know, even when we have a wedding, we smash a glass to say, at the height of my simcha, I remember that there's something sad. That's in a big form, but even all of us in our private lives, sometimes we just want to be happy. Everything seems like it's beautiful, but then something niggles and says, but still this happened, or still that happened, or still this is happening. And it's difficult for us to show our complete and absolute happiness. Um, the Melech is promising us over here that there will come a time. There will be a time where Hashem's plan will make sense. It's too hard for us to understand that now. Because right now, you can hear these lectures and all these beautiful things explaining that Hashem has a plan and we don't see the whole plan. And we struggle with that because we're human beings. And how is that? How could it be that Hashem has a plan that I'll one day be able to say was, yes, I understand it, it's good. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And so David Hamelach says to us, Heitivu nogain bitrua. Even sing, even when there's trua, even when you're not understanding Hashem, even when there is a tinge of sadness, there is trua when you want to, where you really think that at this stage you should be singing. He says, know for sure that there will be a time when nogain bitrua will be able to sing about those difficult challenges. And I'm guessing that we have to stop now. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I sorry that I've landed up starting so late. I just could not figure out what was going on with the computer. But please God, next week we will finish this capital. So I wish you all a good Shabbos.
Good